Okay, been a while since I've done this, but I definitely want to work more on Soulcalibur VI Libra of Souls speedrun. Let's go ahead and start a new game. Still gonna stick to Siegfried. So far I haven't yet found anything that works so much better. For the most part I like how I work with it. Make our average male short. Finish editing. Give him Siegfried's weapons. That one actually. Rudy. That's fine. Today our story is about Rudy. Having a random name is kind of fun. Got a couple of new things to try out for strategies. We'll see how well they work. Soulcalibur VI gave us this wonderful mode, which in a speedrun doesn't get its best use because you don't get to really customize your character as much as you can casually, but it's still a pretty interesting game mode that allows you to make your own character and use whatever weapon style or styles you like, journey through the world, contributing to the Soulcalibur story on the sly, as it were. Not doing anything important enough to interact with Soul Edge and Nightmare and such in the main storyline, but we're playing a character who, in the tradition of games like Knights of the Old Republic, is known as the Conduit, to allow you to name them or make them anything and anyone, but still be referred to as a generic character. And we awaken in this by this astral fissure in India. And somehow this fissure has get my controls working again. Haven't played this in too long, apparently. Awakened by a strange astral fissure, and Soulcalibur from Soulcalibur 3 and 4 fame meets us and tells us that we've been touched by the astral fissure, which was caused by the evil seed that came out of Nightmare when Siegfried grasped Soul Edge, basically. And that because of that, we become semi-corrupted. Not enough to turn into a Malfested, which he tells us even if we are a Malfested character. But we need to absorb the power of the astral fissures, or we won't be able to live. We're going to die. We now basically have a RPG-style dependence on this astral fissure. So we have to seek them out. We get these strange dreams, and it gives us this lever of scales that helps us balance our know what where we're at on the good and evil scale. For the most part, the good side is a little bit faster, though you get oftentimes better rewards from doing the evil side. Oh. That was my take the sword moment. I'm really horrible at splitting. The very nice thing about this speedrun, though, is that it actually uses in-game time. The splits are there kind of to judge pace more than anything else. Our first battle's with Maxi. We come out of this dream after getting the power of the astral fissure in us. We see the swords. We had to choose one of them to begin us on our path of good or evil. And so we wake up, we see Maxi there. We assume he's someone dangerous and attack him, but After fighting us a little bit, he's not too hard hurt up for feelings. There's another astral fissure nearby, and though he knows nothing about the fissure, the monsters that are coming out of it have attracted the attention of a nearby village, and they've hired him to try and deal with the monsters and maybe the fissure too. So he's not sure how that's going to happen, so we could use some help. And luckily for him, we just happen to be able to close the fissures because we can absorb their power. The weird side effect we got, which is why we are the conduit. And that's worth. So since we figure out he's talking about a fissure anyway, we decide to accompany him. Along the way, we meet this other character named Hauron, who is trained in the arts of the Lingsheng Su Temple staff fighting, just like Keelik. And he's also been hired to deal with the... you remember where my controls are at. I adjusted them, and maybe I shouldn't have done it. So anyway, Maxi wouldn't mind having some more help, but he wants to test Hauron to see if he's actually good enough, so we have to fight him, of course, because this being a role-playing mode of a fighting game, all of our issues are solved via violence in combat. And since we're the hero, we have to do all the actual fighting. Only occasionally will the NPCs do any suggested fighting in the thing. Despite the fact that we totally owned Hauron, Maxi's impressed by him and says, yeah, let's bring him along. We get a totally meaningless choice to say, to nod or shake our head, versus whether we agree with Maxi's decision or not. Get some food, which may be of use later. However, things do not go smoothly. On our way to the Astral Fissure, we meet these strange characters from a group called the Qualifiers, and they claim that the Astral Fissure belongs to Lord Aswell. So of course we have to fight for it. And by we have to fight for it, that means I have to fight for it, because Maxi and Hauron are going to stand back and watch. Valtro is an aggressive thug, while Daniel is a more sophisticated, beauty-loving... I don't know what the proper word for him is. Fop, almost? First few fights are extremely easy. It gets a lot tougher as this goes on. Unlike Soulcalibur VI and Chronicles of the Sword, I don't have any super guaranteed moves on any opponent that will allow me to fly through the game. We'll definitely get some tough fights, but it means that there's lots of room for improvement in the speedrun as well. Biggest thing about this is that any weapons like those that we collect, that was really used nice. It's always nice to get a level 4 weapon that you can't use. I'll be buying one in the next town, but if one drops, that saves a little bit of time and makes the next couple fights a little better. Weapons make a big difference in this game for how easy the fights go. I've got a very short character because shorter characters actually do more damage. It seems counterintuitive that a smaller character than Astaroth would do more damage than Astaroth does, but it's a matter of balance in the gameplay. Thanks, Kwai. Okay, that wasn't too bad a fight. For the most part, having the extra damage is better, especially for the speedrun, which is why we go with really short characters, but sometimes It does reduce your reach having a smaller character. That's how it is considered balanced. If big characters did more damage and had more reach, they'd be totally unfair. So I think the damage is better, but it there are moments when a lower reach throws you off. So we absorb the astral fissure, much to the surprise of our companions, but while they're going to get some water and things for us, thanks, Disruptrot. These other strange individuals show up, and this black-clad person decides to give us a try. This is the fight where having a higher level weapon would drop for us would have been a lot more useful. Luckily, we only have to do so much damage to grow to complete this. There we go. After fighting Grow a little bit, he'll scurry off. You get to ask him a question, doesn't matter which one we ask, really. You get slightly different dialogue. Ask why he attacks, he actually responds. Ask him who he is, he just runs away. Since we can skip text in this game, it really doesn't matter too much which. So now Maxie takes us back to town. Haron has to leave because he hears that there's trouble going on in his hometown of Yangguan. Maxie heads in to go collect the fee for dealing with the monsters and the astral fissure, or hole, or whatever the village is calling it, and sends us to go meet with his pirate crew by the docks. So we show up, and being a bunch of rowdy pirates, they want to test our skills, because it's a Soulcalibur game, it's a fighting universe, and that's all what everybody wants to do is fight. So we gotta fight a couple of them. One of the nice things about the speedrun of this game is that there generally aren't too many special features in the battles. In Chronicles of the Sword, of course, I have missions in strongholds that greatly affect how the battles go. Lots of ice and guardian force and other nasty things going on. There are a few of those in this category, but in Libra of Souls, but most of them are in not in this in the main storyline. That's what I'm trying to say. There are a lot of them, but they're in the side quests and stuff that we aren't going to see. That is very true. There are a lot of stages that don't give you ring outs, so trying to rely on ring out strats generally does not help the game out. Doesn't help you out too much. There are a few that are dangerous that do though, like okay, we're going to buy a large Tachi. Now we have to equip that. If you're good at ring outs, though, there are definitely some battles where being able to do so is useful, such as the fight against Geralt. On a couple of my playthroughs, I've had a lot of trouble with Geralt, but if you can get ring outs on him, goes down pretty fast. Get some more mostly pointless dialogue with Maxie. Ask them stuff about him. And now we shipwreck and come across this besides Geralt, I can't think of any really difficult ones where having ring out is good. I mostly remember, difficult fights like most of the Aswell fights and difficult Grow fights later on. The big boss fights don't allow you to. as we're shipwrecked, we meet this merchant who's under attack by this assassin. Kong Wong is a semi-criminal merchant who also is in charge of running a group of mercenaries in the area. And we come upon him as he's being attacked by this assassin, save his life, and he agrees to help us in exchange. And the final Aswell fight, well, both the final Aswell fights as well. They, even if you break through the shield, they don't allow you to ring him out. When you break the outer wall, invisible barrier inside the ring. So Kong Wang promises to get some stuff to repair Maxie's ship, and we accompany him inward to where his, to this town, little village, wherever his mercenary shop is set up at, and we meet his prize mercenary, Mitsurugi. Mitsurugi, of course, wants to challenge us, see how good we are. He's just about gathered up enough money for mercenarying to go home, so when we say we're going to Yangwang, he decides he wants to accompany us as well. Probably was the style test, yeah. I don't know, we'll see soon enough, but I'm pretty certain I remembered that he can't ring him out. You can ring out Mitsurugi here, for instance, but he's, this first time around, he's easy enough that it's not really a big deal if you do or not. If you get lucky enough to knock him back into place for it, then good on you, but... I wish I could figure them out. There are times I can blow through them, but they still give me a decent amount of trouble. Mitsurugi tells us about his journey trying to find Soul Edge and how he's trying to get it in order to defeat the Tanegashima Japanese rifles that are becoming prevalent in the country. He's an old-fashioned soul of a samurai and believes the sword should be a superior weapon to gunpowder weapons. Now we're starting to have more nightmares and suffer from a lack of astral fissure energy. We hear rumors that Yangguang is being overrun by monsters because of the astral fissure present there. Unfortunately, we're going to come across news that our good old buddy Hauron tried to go deal with the astral fissure and got turned into a Malfested, who's been running around the streets at night killing people. His brother wants us to help deal with him. He isn't sure that Hauron can be saved, and so he asks us to kill his brother. Yeah, he's moderately bad, and you... This level, you don't have a good weapon for him either. You don't get to buy an upgrade from level 4 until this town is cleared up, so... Get him up against the wall there, though, and you can spam some good knockback attacks on him.
Your soul surges in your body.
We decide that we're going to spare his life, and suddenly Grow shows up again and offers to give us a potion that'll subdue the Malfested if we're going to try and find a way to save him, as long as we meet him in this place afterwards. Okay, let's buy us a Flamberge. Oh, can't use it yet because I'm level 10. Not level 10, though. I need to learn steps like that. My main strategy is pretty much always rush forward and attack first, but yeah, there are enemies that are probably better to do that with. That's one of the reasons probably why I haven't been able to do very well with Aswell, because it's just so unnatural for me to fall back and use attacks from there. This is a non-ring out fight. I'll try and keep that in mind, thanks. Couple, let's see. Is there only one more Grow fight? I can't even remember. I think it's, well, set one, at least. A couple more fights before I'm level 10 and can use this new weapon. But yeah, even with a reduced reach, Siegfried should be pretty good for outranging Grow. Oh, not supposed to ask anything here. It's the first time, well, the second time since the first bit, since the very beginning of the game, they have the opportunity to ask multiple things, so you can get information and such, but we don't really know. We hear about this old hermit living in near where the Ling Shangsu temple was, and we take Kauron here because we hear he might know a way to cure the malfestation. He does, and in return he wants us to have a duel with his apprentice he's training, Keelik. What I really like about this fight is that if you do Libra of Souls first, and then you do the regular story mode, when you do this part with Keelik, you'll actually fight the character you created in Libra of Souls. It was pretty shocking when I loaded it up and suddenly was fighting Cade, the flame-throwing swordsman that I just created and played several chapters through. There we go. Yeah, I remember reading through those discussions you're having on the Discord with that. Okay, still not level 10 yet. That's the problem with going this route. So we leave Hauron in the care of the Master and head out to go meet with Grow like we promised. On the way, we come across this wagon full of weapons, and the guy in charge of it, for some reason, accuses us of being a thief and attacks us. After the battle's over, you get a good and evil choice to see if you want to live up to his expectation or not. Oh no, it's not a problem. I like having the conversation to listen to about it all and the reminders. As I say, when it comes to games like this, I tend to be rather single-minded, so having the thought added should be a big help. Boom. Okay. I tried a couple times taking his weapon for a hope of getting it. Thanks, 44 Moth. And thanks for the follow. But it's only a random chance of getting a weapon you want anyway, so generally better just not to go for it. Yeah, he's the last speedrun I did, he was what really gave me a whole lot of trouble before the ending. That and bad RNG. Oh, now I need to equip a new weapon. Flamberge. There we go. So now we're heading to the Astral Fissure that Gro knows about so that we can absorb it and get some power. Despite the fact that we missed out on the one in Yangguang, we're not totally dying yet, though it's about to get rough. We meet some Malfested and we hear about, as well, the guy behind the qualifiers who is also looking for the Astral Fissures. We'll give it a try. I say, I think my last run I had to retry that fight alone like 4 times. It was so nasty. Not doing that right. I hate Yoshimitsu. There we go. Now we get to absorb the fissure, not with the Berserker, interestingly. We learn about the Aval organization that Gro's a part of, and how they seek to battle the Malfested, which they call outsiders. He's one of the faster ones, but some of us like other ones. He's the one I prefer for this particular mode. But he's got pretty good range and strong attacks that aren't blocked too badly. But Kawaii here, he generally does a lot of Aswell and does pretty comparable speed with Aswell, so it's definitely not... Siegfried's obviously the best, though he seems to be one of the probably top tier for these. Ouch. Okay. Whew. Yep. So now we meet our good buddy Volto again, and he's been turned into a Malfested by Aswell, so now he's unbeatable. Ro apparently unleashes his Malfested power to beat him, which is really weird because the Aval organization... Oh, not supposed to be asking that either. Aren't supposed to like the Malfested, but he somehow has gotten this power as well, which you learn about if you do his storyline and such in the Soul Chronicle. Now he's going to check out one of Aswell's old laboratories that's in the area. But while we're in this town, we get bothered by this blacksmith who's trying to sell her weapons, so she decides that showing them off in a real fight is the best way and challenges us. Because, you know, again, Soulcalibur fighting game, fighting universe, everybody fights to solve their problems. That went pretty good. Yeah, air launches are a very, very valuable source of damage combos in the run. Okay, now we're going to do some shopping. I believe I can do the shopping now. Yes. Whoops. Okay, first we're going to buy another new weapon, because buying a new weapon at every shop is good. That's level 16. I don't believe I'm 16 yet. 13, yep. Let's see, I also need to buy... I'm going to pick some high-quality Nightmare Onyxes, 2 of them. And that's all. And so now the ruins where Aswell's old laboratory are being bothered by this girl who Gro doesn't want nosing around. So he makes her promise that if she loses a fight against us, she has to leave. And then after getting her to agree with this, orders us to do the fighting because he only fights outsiders. So this is Sungmina. Sungmina is actually my favorite character and favorite style to play, but never been very good for speedrunning in any of the Soulcalibur games I've attempted. There we go. Yep. That was not what I wanted. Get out of here. Now Gro makes Sungmina leave, but of course she's not going to listen to us. Doesn't matter. We sent Dion and Natalie, Gro's 2 associates, on ahead, but they haven't returned, so we're searching around to try and find them. And find out where the hidden laboratory is. We make our way in, but find that there are creatures that Aswell's been experimenting on who break loose and start running amok. We have to deal with them in order to free Dion and Natalie, who got trapped in a room. Wrong. Right. Nightmare is another good choice for Libra of Souls. He's got a lot of similar moves to Siegfried. I don't like him as much, but some people think that he's a lot better, more overpowered. In Soulcalibur 3, there were definitely styles that just had moves that could break the computer wide open that the AI couldn't deal with, but in this game, being comfortable with it is far more important than anything else for the style. There are definitely ones that are better than others, but you gotta be able to play the style well. So now we basically teamed up with Grow and his organization. We're going to get rid of the astral fissures for him. And he doesn't know that we aren't an outsider yet, but we're useful, and since Aswell is also after the astral fissures, us getting them instead helps him out. We'll spend pretty much the rest of the game working with the Abal organization. Grow and, at times, Dion and Natalie. Nice. Okay, coming up is, I believe, the really nasty Berserker fight. The levels of the enemy ramp up really fast and then kind of plateau. Levels don't matter so much in this game. They only seem to affect hit points, just as base stats, but they do determine what weapons you can use, and weapons have a big difference in their damage. So yeah, not being 16 for this fight is, and not being able to use a better weapon is a major pain. Let's see if I can actually get this one first try. Darn it, how'd that hit? Okay, that wasn't a bad start. Ouch. Okay, I wasn't prepared for that. This will probably finish me off right here. Yep. Jeez, this guy is so insane. How did that? Yeah, horizontals are definitely the way to go against him. That's one of the things that I get caught up in, is usually preferring horizontal attacks. In most of the clashes I did, especially playing through the first time, enemies almost always went with horizontal attacks, so... Okay, that actually is working. But I was doing fine last time too, and then... Back off. Ah, goodness.
The soul of a warrior now lays here to rest. Battle 1. Fight! Battle 2. Fight!
Okay.
Final battle. Fight! No mercy! No mercy! Can you take this? I'll prevail! Showdown!
Okay. For the most part, critical edges are slow, and I don't like to use them. But they are good for adding a lot of damage if you're in a desperation type situation. Yeah, I noticed, especially early on, he was doing that, but I think the AI in this game is pretty good at learning in a lot of cases. At least it seems that way to me. The first couple of fights early on, I was winning the first two fights exactly because of that. He was sidestepping a lot, but I was hitting him with the horizontals. Okay, I can equip a better weapon now. We were helped out recently in the text that we skipped by Taki, the demon hunting ninja. It dealt with some Malfested for us, but now she's come to challenge us to a fight to see if we are just how corrupted we are. Almost makes me wonder if having a bigger character with longer reach would work better, because the AI is not programmed for it. So after we drub Taki a little, she runs off. Now we're trying to find the next astral fissure, which is at the main headquarters of the cult of Figus Sestimus, the group behind creating Astaroth. We're trying to find a way in, so we target a high priest. It's actually better, you get a better reward, and it's faster to go after the so-called difficult fight. Yeah, Aswell's range is really insane with some of his attacks. And he has jumping attacks on top of it. Now we make our way into the cult. We find the going isn't so easy because by the time we attack it, the Aswell's group has already attacked it as well. And so we're basically fighting him for the Astral Fissure. Aswell used to be a member of the Aval organization, but split from them. He's very insane. He loves humanity and humans, and he wants to save them. Yep. So he's trying to use the power of the Astral Fissures to create perfect replicas of Soul Edge and Soulcalibur so that he can simulate the evil seed. Doing so will allow most of humanity to evolve. Well, some of humanity to evolve. A lot of it's going to get wiped out, but those who remain will evolve to a higher state and be a better humanity. And boy, he's so excited by that. He's definitely got a very unique personality. He's a great villain. No, the basic total greed, power hungry, I want to rule the world for my sake. He's got his weird ideals and his purposes in that. But he unfortunately absorbs the fissure and escapes and has Vultro try to finish us off before, as the temple collapses. He wants Vultro to sacrifice himself to stop us. Okay. This is another one of the 3 or 4 fights in the game that can cause me the most trouble. It's one of the weird ones, because sometimes it's pretty easy, but then there are other times when he just obliterates me. Oh, jeez. With stuff like this. Okay, not bad this time. This actually isn't going too badly. Next fight coming up that's troublesome is going to be Geralt, or however you pronounce it. So now we're trying to track down what astral fissures we can and absorb them before Aswell does. Taking the risky route here, the evil route, actually allows you to get both fissures, which gives a huge XP boost. And as far as I've seen, the fights aren't really any worse than the light side. Yes, that is indeed a good pronunciation of it. My word. You're kidding. That's what this lizard man decided to be. Sheesh. Oh my word. Yeah. It gives you 2 astral fissures, which is a pretty big XP bonus. And as far as I've seen, the battles, for the most part, aren't any harder. Except when Lizardman and Astaroth decide to be total Buggers. Okay, that went a lot better. And most importantly, even no, I think it's the same number of fights.
I look forward to using your power. Why can I not?
If you go the other route, you fight Kilik, Xianghua, and Maxi instead right here. And then you fight Mitsurugi again. And then you find Geralt, just like before. And then you just have the 2 Astral Fissure fights this way, and it's the same the other way. You just don't get the Astral Fissure. I think it's actually less fights, I'm pretty certain. I have to go back and look at my video again compared to this, but here's Mitsurugi. Yes, but on the other side, you go for the second fissure, but Aswell gets there first, and you have to fight his cronies instead.
Battle 1. Fight. Ready? I have been waiting for this battle. Battle 2. Fight. No more half measures. Battle 3. Fight.
Yeah, I'll go back and double check, because if it is extra fights, then it's probably, well, might still be worth it for me anyway, because I rely on getting a high enough level for extra weapons. We'll see. That went really well. Usually Mitsurugi 2 is pretty rough. Or Mitsurugi 30 is, how do you say? I've thought about grabbing those, since I go this route and get the extra Astral Fissure, I've thought about grabbing those XP boosting food for these, but I can't remember what they are, so I'll need to prepare better for the next time and try them out, see if an extra level or 2 might be good for safety. Now here's the Geralt fight. Kind of similar to some of the Kingdom Hearts remakes, you can't skip these scenes immediately. A certain amount of time has passed before they let you pause it and check them. Oh, phew. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I remember that it's in the second town, but I can't remember what it's called. I've never messed too much with most of the food. So now we absorb the fissure that Geralt came out of. Mitsurugi wants to fight Geralt and rushes off after him when Geralt leaves. He spends the next couple of years trying to find a way back to his world. Now, meanwhile, we have to deal with a couple more fissures, which aren't quite as bad now that we're higher level. And we're no longer suffering from astral fissure depletion. Usually not as bad. Okay. There is the extra berserker here I have to fight, that is true. Yeah, seriously. Oh, jeez. Whew, that was close. I'm getting a couple of lucky battles here. I really hate the ones with multiple opponents because you only have one life and they have multiple. You lose once and it's over and you don't get all your health back between the fights. Run should be roughly half over now, if all goes well. So that'll shoot me up another 4 levels. Now I think you just get 1 here. Bro had to take care of something, which if you play the Soul Chronicles, you find out he visits, during the big climactic Soulcalibur battle against Nightmare, he visits Ostrheinsberg Castle and has a little duel with Keelik. For no reason that I can discern. That attack. There we go. Whew. My word. This guy's being really punishing today. Oh my word, no way. This is a nasty time loss. At least I don't have to redo the whole fight yet, but that was horrible timing. My word. This guy hasn't given me trouble before, but today he's on it. Okay, only one more. Come on. This is a ring out battle? Why didn't he ring out for my attacks then?
This is how I
Okay, there we go. Ugh. Thing about longer fighting game speedruns too is that you always have room for improvement because there's always that battle that doesn't go well.
Your soul surges in
That
your
kicks us
heart.
up to level 30. And now the next astral fissure is in Greece at the Temple of Eurydice. And we are going to be contending against Aswell for that. Our final battle against Daniel, who's annoyingly hard for somebody who, even according to the story, refused to get malfested because he wanted to remain a beautiful human. Usually he's pretty easy, but sometimes he goes berserk and causes me problems like that Zasal no Berserker just did. Oops. Oh. Yep, he's on one today. He's really annoying with this.
I did it.
No more half measures. Final battle. Fight.
Here's a
Oh, gall. Seriously?
I did it. Twirl.
Nope, I didn't have a way out of that.
Warrior now lays here to rest. Battle 1. Fight.
Graceful.
Shoosh.
No more half measures.
Okay. He's way too good at reading my bigger, slower moves and using that to his advantage. Oh my...
I did it.
No mercy. Can you take this?
This might finish him, maybe, if I'm lucky.
Showdown.
Okay. Always way harder than that needs to be. Now we've all, as well as already absorbed the fissure, though, as we approach. And he has far more power than we can deal with, so we're just hoping to bring him down enough that Grow will step in and save us with his Malfested power. Before going in, he makes us promise that we will deal with him, because the only way he can fight Aswell is if he fully gives in to his Malfestation. And we're the only one who can stop him if it comes to that. Okay. It's really annoying that it's a fight you can't win, and sometimes he still kills you. Lost quite a bit of time on Daniel, but I'm not too worried. I think I can still get a PB from this route if everything breaks well.
Soul surges in your body.
Now Aswell and Grow both disappeared after Malfested Grow grabs Aswell and jumps off the cliff with him. So now we're working with Dion and Natalie. We hear about another astral fissure and go after it. We can actually buy our newest weapon here. Scythe Zerker and then Daniel as well. Both were just absolutely trashing me. I actually did really well in the Aswell's quote-unquote fight, but oh my. No. Oh dear. Okay. Didn't want to waste that time, but didn't want to waste time with a refight either.
In your body.
Okay, now we hear of that Aswell is recovered and he's preparing for a ritual in Ostrheinsburg Castle in a certain amount of time. So we'll have to meet him there at the right time, but we have to get enough power to get there first. So we need to... We talked to Zasomel, who tells us that we need to... No encounters. That's so bad. We need to connect to the actual Spirit Sword and Cursed Sword and draw power from one of them, whichever is closest to our own soul, and conjure it forth from the astral void in order to battle Oswell and to stop him. So we have to find people who are connected to the swords. You fight different people depending on if you're connected to Soul Edge or Soulcalibur. Oh my word.
Battle 2. Fight.
Watch over me, Mother. You.
I sometimes don't understand how these
Stop me.
hits come out.
Do you give up? Block this. Not good.
Too much. Oh, gall.
No more half-met. Battle 3. Fight.
Watch over me.
Like, how did that come out faster than my attack?
You can't stop me. Do you give up?
That's a mistake. I played too many hours of Soulcalibur 3, which has a completely different moveset for Siegfried. There are certain moves I use a lot in there, and they don't quite work the same here. That's why I often go into the hold there into AB, because it's really useful against a lot of circumstances in windmill attack in Soulcalibur 3.
This is
That's great.
Okay, Xianghua down. Yeah, they really did change a lot of stuff up. Even the even just the basic mechanics like reversal edge, critical edge is kind of maintained in parts from Soulcalibur 4 and 5, but the reversal edge is brand new, and there are several different movesets that were completely erased. All the previous ones had AK attacks, which sometimes were very unique, interesting effects, but those don't exist anymore. So there's actually less moves because of that. A lot of those style of attacks were added into reversal edge pieces and such.
no more half measures. Battle 2. Fight.
The real problem I have with speedrunning these games too is that I'm the kind of person who does get agitated from things not going well, so I tend to do worse after I start going on tilt, as it were.
No more half measures. I feel my spirit surging. Fight.
I'm kind of glad that Libra of Souls is a short enough speedrun as it is. 2 hours is kind of long to a lot of people, but I play a lot of RPGs where that isn't that long at all. Oh my word. Okay. Jeez.
Battle 4. Fight. No mercy. Come on.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. I don't know. But Chronicles of the Sword that I do for Soulcalibur 3 is 3.5 hours to 4 hours-ish. 3 to 4 hours, depending on the category I'm doing. It isn't that long, though, because there's a lot of downtime. And it's a lot easier to speedrun in some ways because
Surges in your body.
just because of the way the mechanics work in Soulcalibur 3 with the AI especially. Okay, good. Now, if I get a decent weapon here, I'll be set for the end game. That's hopefully will set me up to get a new PB. Otherwise, probably not. Now, do I get lucky or not? Nope. I got a Witcher sword instead of a Siegfried sword. My health hasn't recovered, so I could very well die here. Yep. My PB, I did get really lucky. I got 2 great weapons that made the end game really fast, which is why it's as good as it is. Even if I had to grind for the levels to do it, the final fights did not take me very long. Whew. Okay, here's the second chance at luck. And I actually managed to win the fight, which is the most amazing, considering I was almost dead. I'm a pretty incredible Soulcalibur speedrunner, because there will be fights where I look like I'm just absolutely amazing, and then other fights where I get trounced so perfectly, it's like, why is this guy even trying? Large Tachi evil, that's good enough. That'll actually work. Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I ran it as well. Okay, some Voldo weapons. Don't need those. Now, evil weapons mean that I don't get as much crit chance from this. Level 36, so I need one more level. Not a huge deal, though. I'll make that before I fight as well, so I don't need to grind at all. That's the good news.
Battle 1. Fight! Stay back. Face no more half-mesh. Battle.
I've decided I really need to get into the habit of streaming regularly now. Both my Soulcalibur games and my Gold Box RPG games. So I'm going to try and set up a schedule. Soulcalibur on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and Gold Box games on Thursdays and Sundays. That's the plan. We'll see how well I do for it. Haha, you beat me to it. I was going to use that same move. Wrong move. Oh, darn.
Power of my sword. Haven't had enough. Back. Still going.
Wow. Come on, just need one more fight. Well, he's not going to have a huge amount of soul gauge left now. Sometimes how they semi-sidestep. Knew that wouldn't reach quite. Whew, okay, there we go. So now we find Siegfried, who has regained control of himself after fighting Nightmare. I really like how this explained how he freed himself, like it kind of talks about at the beginning of Soulcalibur 2, but then was immediately taken over by Nightmare again. It's because he has to free Soulcalibur from Nightmare's clutches in the astral void shortly after this. And since he's in possession of Soulcalibur, meeting him awakens it. Now I get my new weapon. And now we're ready to confront Aswell, we think. All damage plus 15, 50% chip damage, and more damage than my previous weapon. So, this is a good one. So first, Zosomel decides to test us.
Battle 1. Fight.
How useful is that power?
No more. Battle 2. Fight. No more half-measures. Leave your hope in shreds. Fight.
Okay. Now I have 15 minutes to beat both Aswells to stay on pace. Let's see how well I do.
Battle 1. Fight! Let us guide the human race together!
How did that not hit him?
No more half measure. Battle 2. Fight! No more half measures. I need to reach my goal. Fight! Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. Do you resist?
Haha! Nice. I thought that I'd lose one fight there, but that went quite well. Okay, now I just gotta beat Aswell. Aswell 2 or 3. Soul Charge Aswell.
Your soul surges in your body.
Whoops. I thought it didn't quite click. I wanted to put on some food. Well, we'll see how well I do without it. If I don't need it, I can save it for Grow. Probably ought to buy some all damage food, but I just never use it.
The old era has ended and new age begins.
I need to remember not to use that attack, because it's just no good at this stage. They duck it too easily. Although it occasionally beats reversal edges. Good. Okay, one down.
No more. Battle 3. Fight. Try this.
Okay.
No more half
Oh, did I get him? I've got him. That's it.
Showdown.
Yes.
Give it up.
That's always the toughest fight for me. Grow can sometimes be troublesome, but as well as the one I have the hardest time with. Sometimes that extra weapon damage is all I need. So we summon forth Soulcalibur and vanquish him and get sucked into the astral chaos, and it looks like we're going to perish, but we wake up and we're alive. Nice. So we also find out we don't need astral fissure power anymore, although we can still absorb astral fissures that show up, so the Aval organization wants us to do that. But now we're thinking, what happened to Grow? We need to find out what happened to Grow. And we hear about this black demon who's been attacking people, and we're like, well, as much as we care for Grow, he's probably, since he's turned into a monster, he's probably the black demon going around attacking people. We need to figure out where he's at. Need to keep our promise to him to stop him, and, you know, also we want to see him alive, so. Greece is where the Aval organization's headquarters is now, apparently. So we keep going back there to talk to them. First we have to go deal with a fissure that's appeared. There's a lot of fun side quests and such that are around too. In the course of this, you can hear stories about what Geralt is doing. Oh my word. All of his attacks are coming out just before mine. Oh, that's hilarious. He beat me harder than Aswell did. Finally. Now that we've got blood. Come on, that's my move. Okay. That was a little harder than it needed to be. Doesn't really matter at this point which we go for. Maybe I should actually reach for the Curse Sword to see if I could, the Golden Sword as they call it, to see if I can actually turn to red and get a bonus attack damage, because at this point it really doesn't matter, except for the ending that we don't see, that we skip, but now we have to go deal with a couple of Malfested we hear about who turn out not to be the Black Demon. First we have to deal with a Raphael clone, or a character using the Raphael style.
Battle 1. Fight.
Can't believe that that was out of range. Okay. He gave me a little bit of trouble, but not too much. Now we have to deal with the Cervantes, Malfested, who's got a Malfested wolf with him as well. We think this could be the Black Demon. Never mind, you know, that he was in Europe, and we hear about these Black Demons all over the world, in Asia apparently killing people. We think, oh, that might be Gro. Wrong choice again. Oh my word. Okay, this is probably going to finish me off. Yep. Okay, one fight left, just the Gro fight. Got to do a little bit of story stuff in the meantime. Talking to people. We finally figure out, hey, Gro said that he was from the north where it's cold. Maybe he's in Scandinavia. Oh yeah, we hear about a black demon up in Scandinavia. So we go to about southern point of Finland, Sweden area.
Your soul surges in your body.
We find Gro there, but he's so scary and powerful we just run away and fight. We don't even get a fight. It's just story description. He attacks our camp in the middle of the night. We're like, he's too scary. Run away. Let's go see if anybody has any ideas on how to beat him. And Sasselmo's, hey dude, just call him the sword again like you did last time. Okay. Yeah, this is Sweden, not Finland. Just Sweden. So we go tell the Vol organization what we're going to do, or at least Dion, because they don't tell most of the organization everything. Okay, cold quality superb for a lot of life drain. And here's the final battle. Let's see if it takes me less than 12 minutes. jeez. I'm really vulnerable to throws. Yep. Ooh, okay. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Well, he's about to knot this up. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. I was about to get him. How? Crap. Oh, so close. Yeah, I was trying to use it for the finisher, but he dodged around it. Got me back in the corner. That's not good. He's about to get another on me, no problem. That was kind of lucky. Yeah, I do need to remember that. Especially when he's got me in tight quarters like that. Okay. Perfect block into combo. At least he can only do that once more, regardless. Got him. Whew. Coaching did help, Kawaii. Thanks a lot. Yeah, that was definitely what I needed there. Okay, so we actually count the game to avoid loading time differences between consoles. We count the game off of game time, but we make sure to finish it first so it's official.
Your soul surges in your body.
Because there's one, after the credits and everything, there's one little thing you do here. You talk to the Aval organization, tell them what happened in the final battle, whether you saved or killed Gro, which depend on your alignment. It flips over to Epilogue here. Boom. And now we exit the game mode. Yeah. And 1:33:45 playtime. That is... How is that? That's 4 minutes faster than my previous time. All right, that's a new record. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. That worked out pretty well. So that was a nice, good run. It's a lot more stressful than most of my other runs, but the speed runs that I do, but at least it's short. It's over with now, so got a pretty good time there. I'm confident, relatively confident now, submitting this for a couple of upcoming marathons. See where that goes. Had a nice little crowd watching today too. Thanks for all you lurkers and for our chatters as well, especially Kawaii. Thanks for talking me through this. Felt it go a little bit easier. Gonna wait a day or two before posting this up to YouTube and getting it registered, but that was a good thing there. So. Nope, not 132. 137 is my high. He might have either mistyped it or you just misread the 7. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. Although I was confused for a little bit, I was like, 1 versus 32? I've never done 32 people in a row. Anyway, that's going to be all for me for now. 152 is my in the real time for that, so that's also where it comes from. But I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be all for me, so thanks for watching, and I'm just going to put it up here. Go get some dinner. It's dinner time for me. You too, Kawaii. Thanks again. Thanks again for everyone watching. Have a good evening, and probably be back playing some Curse of the Azure Bonds on Thursday. Until then, later.